Chosen ones, stop scrolling. This message is not for everyone. December 16th marks a rare lunar activation. And if you're watching this right now, it's because your energy is already shifting. Something is changing overnight, and you may have felt it before this moment. A strange calm, emotional distance from old worries, or a sudden clarity you can't explain. This is not imagination. This is not coincidence. The moon is lifting a veil, closing old spiritual paths and activating a new one, but only for those who are ready. After this shift, certain people, habits, and situations will no longer feel the same. What once confused you will suddenly make sense. What drained you will lose its power, and what's meant for you will begin moving toward you without force. But here's the truth. Most people won't hear. Not everyone is meant to know this. Only chosen ones feel this shift before it happens. If you feel this message pulling at you, don't ignore it. Comment, "I'm ready," if you know this activation is meant for you and you're prepared to step into what's opening after December 16th. Stay with this video. What you're about to hear may explain everything you've been feeling. On December 16th, something subtle yet irreversible begins to happen. The moon doesn't change the world around you. It changes the way you see it. For chosen ones, this shift feels less like learning something new and more like finally recognizing what has been standing in front of you all along. Confusion starts to fade, not because life suddenly becomes simple, but because the fog lifts. Situations that once felt complicated reveal their true shape. Mixed signals lose their power. You no longer debate what someone might have meant, or wonder whether your feelings are valid. Truth becomes emotionally undeniable. You don't have to chase it. It arrives fully formed in your awareness. This is why realizations may come suddenly. You may look at a relationship and understand, without anger or drama, why it never stabilized. You may see clearly why certain doors kept closing, no matter how much effort you poured into them. You may finally grasp why you felt delayed, while others seemed to move forward with ease. None of this was punishment. None of it was failure. It was alignment preparing you for a higher timeline. The lunar shift on December 16th does not bring answers from outside. It brings clarity from within. And clarity is dangerous to illusions. Illusions survive on doubt, on second-guessing, on the hope that things will change if you just try harder. Once clarity arrives, illusions collapse quietly. There is no dramatic ending, just an inner knowing that you cannot unsee what you now understand. After this point, you will notice that certain behaviors are no longer possible for you. You will not be able to pretend something feels right when it doesn't. Your body and emotions will not cooperate with denial anymore. You will not be able to ignore red flags, even small ones, because your intuition will speak faster and louder than your logic. And most importantly, you will no longer stay quiet just to keep the peace. Not because you want conflict, but because inner peace now matters more than external approval. This is why some connections may begin to feel uncomfortable after December 16th. Conversations may feel forced. Interactions that once felt normal may suddenly feel heavy or misaligned. This does not mean something went wrong. It means the illusion that held the connection together has dissolved. Growth changes the energy of a relationship, and not everyone grows at the same pace or in the same direction. The moon illuminates emotional truth, and for chosen ones, emotional truth is the gateway to destiny. You cannot step into the life meant for you while carrying attachments built on misunderstanding, obligation, or outdated versions of yourself. The lunar veil lifting is not meant to isolate you, it is meant to align you. You are not losing people during this phase. You are outgrowing versions of life that no longer match your frequency. This distinction matters. Loss feels like something is being taken from you. Growth feels like something no longer fits. What leaves now does so, because it cannot follow you where you are going. At first, this realization may feel heavy. There may be moments of sadness, nostalgia, or even guilt. That is normal. Clarity often arrives with a quiet grief for what could have been. But beneath that heaviness is something powerful. Freedom. Freedom from confusion. Freedom from self-doubt. Freedom from trying to make situations work that were never meant to last. December 16th marks the beginning of seeing clearly. And once you see clearly, your path forward becomes inevitable. After December 16th, something unfamiliar yet unmistakable begins to happen. What once felt productive starts to feel empty. Methods that used to bring results suddenly lose their effectiveness. Goals you chased with intensity no longer spark the same fire. This shift can feel confusing at first, but it carries an important truth. This is not laziness, burnout, or failure. This is realignment. Chosen ones, the moon does not arrive to make life comfortable. It arrives to make life clear. Lunar energy activates direction, not security. When the moon shifts your path, it doesn't ask for permission. It simply reveals what no longer belongs on your journey. This is why your spiritual path begins to split. One path leads back to what you already know. Familiar struggles, repeated lessons, patterns you've survived before. This path feels predictable, even safe, because you understand its challenges. You know how to navigate its pain. The other path is quieter, unknown, unlabeled. It does not come with guarantees or full explanations, but it carries growth, truth, and purpose. And after December 16th, the moon makes it impossible to walk both. You may try at first. You may attempt to hold on to old routines while feeling the pull towards something deeper, but it won't work. The energy will not support divided intention. The more you try to stay in the familiar, the heavier everything feels. You may notice subtle signals guiding you forward, a sudden desire to change daily habits, a natural pull away from distractions that once consumed your attention, a growing hunger for meaning rather than noise. These are not random impulses, they are invitations. This is the moment where many people resist. They attempt to return to what's comfortable. They convince themselves that the old path is good enough. They try to recreate motivation for goals that no longer align with who they are becoming. But chosen ones cannot go backward. Once your awareness expands, there is no returning to smaller versions of life. The moon ensures this by making resistance uncomfortable. If you ignore the pull forward, you will feel restless. A quiet dissatisfaction will follow you everywhere. If you fight it, you will feel drained. Tasks will take more energy than they should. Progress will slow. Nothing will feel right. But if you follow the pull, even without clarity, you will feel aligned. Not excited, not euphoric, aligned. Alignment feels calm. It feels steady. It feels like walking without forcing. Even when the path is uncertain, something inside you knows you're moving in the right direction. This is how the moon tests readiness, not through fear, but through energetic honesty. Your destiny does not require you to see the entire path. It does not demand certainty or confidence. It only asks one thing: that you leave what no longer fits, that you stop investing in versions of life that were designed for who you used to be, not who you are becoming. December 16th marks the end of spiritual wandering. The phase of searching without direction comes to a close. From this point forward, every step carries intention, even the slow ones, even the quiet ones, even the uncertain ones. You are no longer moving just to survive or prove something. You are moving with purpose, guided by an inner knowing that cannot be explained, only trusted. This is not the end of a journey. It is the moment you stop walking in circles and begin walking forward. Chosen ones, the moon governs emotions, memory, and the deepest layers of the subconscious. It holds everything you never had time to feel, everything you learned to carry silently, everything you pushed aside so you could keep moving forward. On December 16th, something you've been holding, often without realizing it, begins to loosen its grip. This release does not announce itself dramatically. It arrives quietly, through emotion. You may suddenly feel the weight of old grief you never fully processed, not because you avoided it, but because life demanded strength before it allowed space. You may feel anger surface, anger you buried because you had to be the strong one, the calm one, the one who kept everything together. Or you may feel guilt rise to the surface, guilt that was never truly yours, but that you accepted because you cared more about harmony than truth. These emotions have been stored, not forgotten. Around this time, your inner world may become more active. Sudden emotional waves may come without warning. Vivid dreams may pull memories to the surface. You may find yourself tearing up for reasons you can't logically explain. This is not regression. This is release. Do not suppress it. This is not weakness. It is energetic cleansing. You were never meant to carry everything alone. But because you are resilient, people assumed you could. You learned early how to stay composed, how to move forward without complaint, how to turn pain into responsibility. Over time, this strength became a habit, a role, a silent burden. The moon now acts as a mirror. It reflects back what you've been carrying, so you can finally put it down. Not through force, but through awareness. You don't have to relive the past. You simply have to allow what surfaces to move through you instead of being pushed back down. This is where true emotional freedom begins. After this release, the change is noticeable. You may feel lighter, as if something invisible has been lifted from your chest. You may feel calmer, less tense, less on guard. You may notice that you're no longer as reactive. Situations that once triggered deep emotional responses now pass through you with minimal impact. This is how you know the shift is real. It's not that life suddenly becomes perfect. It's that your nervous system stops living in survival mode. Your emotions stop asking to be acknowledged because they finally were. You'll realize that certain memories no longer carry the same charge. Words that once cut deeply now feel distant. You're able to observe rather than absorb. This is emotional maturity born from release, not avoidance. You are not healing slowly anymore. Healing implies something is still open, still bleeding, still waiting. What happens now is different. You are closing chapters. Closing does not mean forgetting. It means integration. It means the past no longer controls your present reactions. It means you can move forward without dragging old emotional weight behind you. This release also creates space. Space for clarity. Space for new energy. Space for aligned connections that don't require you to shrink, suppress, or overextend yourself emotionally. The moon on December 16th doesn't take anything from you. It frees you. It returns emotional energy that was tied up in the past so you can invest it where it belongs, into your future. And once this release happens, You won't need to force healing ever again. You will simply live lighter, clearer, and more present. That is the power of emotional closure. After December 16th, a powerful internal shift takes place, one that changes how you make decisions, how you read people, and how you trust yourself. The questions that once looped endlessly in your mind begin to fall away. You stop asking, "Am I overthinking?" You stop wondering, "What do others think?" You no longer feel the urge to wait for a sign from the outside world, because you become the sign. Chosen ones, this lunar activation sharpens intuition to a level where self-doubt loses its grip. What once felt like guesswork becomes knowing. You don't need to analyze every detail or explain your feelings to feel confident in them. Truth arrives quickly and clearly, without the noise of uncertainty. You begin to sense things immediately. You walk into a room and feel the energy shift before a single word is spoken. You hear what is not being said in conversations. You recognize alignment or misalignment almost instantly. This awareness is not dramatic or overwhelming. It is calm, precise, and steady. You also gain discernment around timing. You know when to speak and when silence carries more power than words. You stop over-explaining. You stop defending your choices. You understand that not every truth needs to be announced to be valid. This is why your circle may begin to shrink. Not everyone is comfortable around someone who sees clearly. Some people rely on confusion, ambiguity, or emotional dependency to feel secure. When your intuition sharpens, those dynamics become impossible to maintain. You no longer participate in conversations that feel draining. You no longer chase understanding from those who are committed to misunderstanding you. This is not isolation. It is refinement. You are entering a phase where your decisions feel calm, not rushed. There is no urgency to prove yourself, no panic in choosing the next step. You move with quiet certainty, even when the outcome is not fully visible. This calm is a sign of alignment, not passivity. Your boundaries also change. They become firm without requiring explanation. You no longer feel guilty for saying no. You no longer negotiate your comfort to keep others satisfied. You understand that boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They allow what aligns to stay and what doesn't to fall away naturally. Along with this comes a new kind of confidence. Not loud, not performative, not attention-seeking. It is quiet, grounded, and unshakable. You don't need to announce your worth or defend your intuition. You trust it because it has proven itself over time. This is not ego. Ego demands validation. Alignment does not. The moon does not make you louder. It makes you truer. It strips away the need for external reassurance and replaces it with internal stability. You stop searching for permission. You stop waiting for confirmation. You act when it feels right, and you pause when it doesn't, without apology. When you live this way, something interesting happens. The right people recognize you instantly. They don't need explanations. They don't question your clarity. They feel it. These are the connections that arrive without effort, without confusion, without emotional games. This is the power of sharpened intuition. It simplifies your life. It protects your energy. It aligns your actions with your purpose. After December 16th, you are no longer guessing your way forward. You are guided from within. Here is the final and most important message for chosen ones. The shift triggered on December 16th does not stretch itself over weeks or months. It does not require effort or repetition. It activates overnight, quietly, completely. When you cross this point, there is no gradual adjustment back to the old version of you. You wake up different, not dramatically transformed on the outside, but internally grounded in a way that feels unfamiliar at first. You may notice an emotional detachment from worries that once consumed your thoughts. Concerns that used to follow you into sleep suddenly feel distant, as if they belong to another chapter. Your mind feels clear, not racing or overanalyzing. Your body feels settled, as if it finally knows where it stands. This grounded feeling may be difficult to explain, but it is unmistakable. It's the feeling of no longer being pulled in multiple directions, no longer questioning every decision, no longer feeling behind, rushed, or incomplete. As this internal shift settles in, life begins to respond. Delays that once blocked your progress begin to dissolve, not all at once, but naturally. Conversations change tone. People respond differently to you, not because they've changed, but because your energy has. You speak with more certainty. You listen with more presence. You no longer chase clarity, you carry it. Opportunities begin to appear subtly, not loudly or forcefully, but at exactly the right time. You may receive information when you need it, meet someone unexpectedly, or feel drawn toward a choice that unfolds with minimal resistance. These moments feel natural, not forced. They don't come with anxiety or pressure. This is not luck. This is alignment meeting preparation. The moon does not create something new inside you. It activates what has always been there, waiting for the right moment to rise. Everything you've endured, learned, released, and integrated has been building toward this shift. December 16th simply flips the switch. After this point, you won't feel the need to chase anymore. The constant striving, overthinking, and proving begins to fade. What is meant for you will start finding you because you are finally positioned to receive it without resistance. This does not mean life becomes effortless. It means effort becomes purposeful. You stop wasting energy on what isn't aligned. You stop trying to hold on to situations that require you to shrink or compromise your truth. And this leads to the most powerful realization of all. You no longer fear losing what isn't aligned. Before this shift, loss felt like failure. Endings felt personal. Letting go felt dangerous. But now you understand something deeply. Anything that leaves after this shift was never meant to stay. It served its role, taught its lesson, and completed its cycle. This understanding brings peace. You don't cling. You don't resist. You allow life to move naturally, trusting that what remains is meant to walk with you forward. This trust changes everything. It allows you to show up fully without fear of abandonment or regret. You begin living from a place of inner stability rather than external validation. You stop asking if you're on the right path because the path feels right beneath your feet. December 16th marks the moment when alignment becomes your default state. You are no longer preparing for change. You are living inside it. And from this point on, life responds accordingly. As we reach the end of this message, understand this clearly. What you've just heard is not meant to entertain you. It's meant to confirm what your soul already knows. December 16th is not a random date, and this shift is not symbolic. It is a real energetic turning point, and for chosen ones, it changes how life responds to you from this moment forward. You may not feel dramatic excitement. You may not feel a sudden rush of emotion. Instead, you may feel something quieter and far more powerful, a deep sense of calm, a grounded certainty that something has settled into place. This is how real alignment feels. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't need validation. It simply exists. After this point, pay close attention to what naturally falls away. Notice what no longer demands your energy. Observe how you stop forcing conversations, outcomes, and connections that once consumed your thoughts. This is not loss. This is refinement. Life is reorganizing itself around the version of you that is no longer operating from confusion or emotional weight. You will also notice that your reactions change. Situations that once triggered anxiety, frustration, or self-doubt will no longer control your emotional state. You respond instead of react. You pause instead of panic. This is not emotional numbness. It is emotional mastery. From here on, your intuition becomes your primary guide. You won't need constant reassurance or external confirmation. Decisions will feel calm and settled, even when they require courage. When something isn't right, you will sense it immediately. When something is aligned, it will unfold with less resistance than you expect. This is the moment where many chosen ones realize they were never behind. They were never delayed. They were being protected and prepared. Everything that didn't work out was clearing space. Every ending was positioning you for this alignment. And yes, some people may drift away after this shift. Let them. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into the next phase of your life. This does not make you distant or detached. It makes you honest. You are no longer available for dynamics that require you to dim your awareness or compromise your peace. What remains will feel solid. Conversations will feel real. Opportunities will arrive with clarity instead of confusion. You will no longer chase purpose. You will live it through how you move, speak, and choose. Most importantly, trust what you feel after this activation. Don't talk yourself out of your knowing. Don't shrink your truth to make others comfortable. This chapter requires integrity with yourself above all else. December 16th is not the end of something. It is the moment you stop doubting your path. From here forward, walk with intention, move with clarity, and remember, once alignment locks in, life begins to meet you halfway. You were ready for this.